In the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted, and gave glory to the power of heaven. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Revelation chapter 11, verse 13 and 14. Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to our venerable apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to your Lord's elect, the house of David. All right, it's the brother Aharon coming back at you with another lesson, Lord willing to be edifying and uplifting unto the elect. All right, and today is February the 4th, all right, 2024. All right, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. Okay, or the year of the prophecy of Jacob's trouble. All right, and of course, we understand through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai that we are indeed living in the last days. All right, because Jacob's trouble is something that actually happens, okay, in the last days. And as is written, let's get that real quick. Okay, we could pretty much say that Jacob's trouble has already commenced. Okay, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, and verse 7, it says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." Okay, now who's the he? The he is talking about the elect, okay, of the nation of Israel. All right, there's a book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 3 says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." Okay, so again, when the time of trouble comes, okay, it's going to come suddenly. Okay, and it's all going to commence or really build into, okay, a time like never before, as is written in Jeremiah 30 and 7. Okay, it's all leading to, being that we are in the time of war, it's all leading to a third world war. Okay, you can have civil war, okay, which is being set up right now as we speak. All right, they're trying to push, all right, the Texas border situation is going to brew into something bigger. Okay, it's funny because they have it's all spiritual, really. All right, there's the border down at it's called Eagle Pass, Texas, and it's spiritual how the next solar eclipse that makes the X over America is going to be coming in through Eagle Pass, Texas, man. Okay, in April of 2024. All right, and then the following month after that, which is May 2024, all right, the Houdat is going to be basically signing off on the amendments that they made to the One Accord Treaty. Basically, 194 nations or countries are going to be surrendering their sovereignty over to the Houdat. In the case of an emergency or a perceived threat of any form of emergency, mostly health related, which they can tie anything into that. Okay, they will all countries will be under the authority of the Houdat, okay, and the UN. And there's a lot of documents in the past that are, being revealed now, but for the longest were called conspiracy theories, are documents that have been written on how certain agendas are going to be played out. Okay, and we're seeing these things coming to pass. That's all part of the end time prophecies, man. Okay, now speaking of documents that have been written aforetime, okay, that are finally playing out, is the letter, okay, that Albert Pike, who was a 33-degree Mason, okay, he wrote to Giuseppe Mazzini. Okay, I believe going back to 1871. All right, and Lord willing, we're going to get a little bit of that because it all ties into what's going on now. Okay, and the most important thing right now, all right, in the lens of prophecy is the Third World War. Okay, because now it's brewing. So the very next thing that's to come after this is going to be what? The MOTB. Okay, because it is during the time of World War III when it goes nuclear. All right, that's when the Lord comes back to deliver his elect. Okay, So we've got to be that close, man. We got to be close. Even though the Lord told us, all right, that the end is not by and by. Okay, we're going to hear wars and rumors of wars, but the end is not yet. Because why? Because we still have that one major prophecy to go through. Okay, Jacob's trouble, synonymous with the hour of temptation, synonymous with the time of the mark of the beast. Okay, so we in those days, man. All right, Neuralink just came out. Elon Musk, that is, just basically brain C-hipped his first victim, I believe, on Monday, the 29th. Okay, so things are definitely moving, man, in the times, all right, that we're in. Okay, let's get this real quick. All right, there's an article I wanted to go into. Okay, and it says the Middle East has now reached a dangerous climax. And why is that? It's because the Heavenly Father said he's going to bring the nations, all right, to that very place that we're reading about, the Middle East. Okay, the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Let's get a quick precept on that. All right. Let's see. The Lord's judgment. Okay, there's a book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 2. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. The Lord is going to bring them down, bring them, all right, down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay, which means what? The valley of judgment, Yahweh's judgment. Okay, Shaphat or Shapat, okay, in the Hebrew is judgment. Okay, so Yahweh Shaphat in the Hebrew, okay, or Jehoshaphat. All right, the Lord's judgment. So the World War III, okay, where it's going to go nuclear, you're going to see all these nations coming together, fighting against each other and all that. Understand that according to biblical prophecy, the Heavenly Father is orchestrating all this. That is why, again, the world would have never understood this concept if it wasn't for the Lord sending his prophets, beginning from our elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, all right, and their elders, okay, before them, all right. If it wasn't for them, for us, nobody would have known what was going on. Okay, never once did I ever hear this precept in a church. I'll tell you that. Okay, the so-called Christian church, that is. It says, so Joel 3 verse 2, and I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. There you go. Okay, and the land is talking about who, where? The land of Israel. Okay, the land of Israel. Now, the people themselves, the Israelites, are not currently, okay, in the land of Israel, okay, as in the righteous way, because you still have Jake that's still, scattered throughout that land. Okay, but we're not ruling. Basically, that's what it is. All right, we're still in captivity for the most part. Okay, scriptures tell you that Judah and Israel were oppressed together. All right, so whether these days come off claiming to be the people of the Most High when they're not even in captivity, but according to prophecy that in the land of our captivities we shall remember ourselves. So again, the prophecy is cutting everything they doing. Okay, Joel chapter 3 verse 12, it says, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Okay, so can we say that that time is here? Yes, we can. Okay, as the title goes for this article, and these articles are modern day prophecies being fulfilled. Okay, the news that the prophets saw, witnessed, and went through is what we're reading now, right now. We're reading out right now. Okay, it says the Middle East has now, and Middle East, like the elder Malcolm always brings out. Okay, great edification. Okay, he says the Middle East is really, and it's pretty obvious. The Middle East is just something that was made up. Okay, it's another form of division. Now, it literally is Southwestern Asia. Okay, and it's funny because when I was a kid growing up, I used to go into geography a lot. I had this, Pops had me this, he got me this, this big ass fucking atlas. I remember that, and it was like the whole world map. An atlas is the world's map. And you go through all the continents, all the countries, the capital of all the countries, their presidents, their population, um, and I used to always question, I was like, how do we have Asia and then we have Europe, but they're both on the same continent? Like, I always thought, there was something fraudulent about that, but now it all makes sense, right? So the Middle East is really Southwestern Asia, right? Now has reached a dangerous climax, and that is all going into the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay? It says, we are rapidly approaching a point of no return in the Middle East. So far, more than 28,000 people have died as a result of the conflict between Israel and Hamas. Okay, so now we're seeing the political Zionists against the so-called Islamic world, right? But if a full-blown regional war erupts, the final death toll would be many times higher. Of course, because the Heavenly Father said he's going to what? He's going to destroy, all right, the heathens round about. He's going to judge them. Okay, and what is the biggest form of judgment? Death. Okay, death is the ultimate form of judgment. Now, it's about how you die. Okay, and in this case, we're looking at the greatest destruction besides what's going to happen to America, Babylon the Great. That's what World War III is going to be about. Okay, it's thermonuclear missiles. What do you expect? What do you think? And that reality is about to set in very soon on the American people, because your incompetent leaders have been setting you up this whole entire time. And it's very funny how this very year, 2024, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this has to be the biggest year of elections around the world. A lot of countries are in the election year, voting and so on and so forth. You see? So now they're about to start manipulating a lot of people's minds and emotions and so on and so forth. Stir them up. All right? It says, unfortunately, it appears that a full-blown war is exactly what we're going to get. Day after day, there are more escalations. Yeah, who's behind all those escalations? All right, you got Israel and you got Babylon the Great, America. Okay, and that's why ultimately these nations in NATO, all right, and the EU, they're gonna turn against America. Okay, they're gonna look at America and say, hey, listen, your foreign policy done effed us all up. Okay, now we're at the brink of World War III with Russia and China and all these different countries, and your ass is still propagating and pushing for dumbass shit. You see? And the way Trump moves, he's of that mindset of, hey, these countries, they're not gonna help us. He said it. I believe it was last week he was saying it. He said if we were to go to a third world war, with any of these powerful nations, he doesn't believe that the European countries are going to join in to help and defend America. And he's absolutely right. Okay? So America's days are numbered, man. All right? We just don't know the exact number, but we know is a number we can count. Okay? It's not in the thousands. Days of America is not in the thousands. Before this place is taken out by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Continuing, it says, hey man, through the Spirit, it might be a few more hundred days before the Lord get us up out of here, man. The way things are going, remember, 365 days is still a few hundred days, but it's still a year. And it seems like the whole world has changed. It's not even seems like it. The whole world has changed in the past 4 years. I mean, drastically. It's like, what happened? It happened so fast. Everything changed just like that. Unbelievable, right? But it's all biblical prophecy. The days are being shortened and hastened, okay, for the elect's sake. The Lord is coming back to destroy this place and set up the righteous order. Okay? It says, unfortunately, it appears that a full-blown war is exactly what we're going to get. Day after day, There are more escalations, and now the Biden administration has approved plans for a, quote, series of strikes over a number of days, end quote, against targets in Syria and Iraq. Interesting, right? Very interesting. They brewing the fire. They put in the sticks in the flame. Okay, they flame in the fire, I should say. It says U.S. officials have confirmed to CBS News that plans have been approved for a series of strikes over a number of days against targets. What targets? Who are these targets? And where are the facts? Where are your sources? Where's the proof? Remember, it's all propaganda. All right, it's all been planned all the way back, which we're going to get. All right, it says including Iranian personnel and facilities. You hear that? Inside Iraq and Syria. So those targets that America is going to be hitting, striking, so-called, over a number of days, all right, is very indefinite. It's very vague. A number of days. What does that mean? Right? That's double speak for saying indefinitely we're making war. We're at war, basically. The strikes will come in response to drone and rocket attacks against U.S. forces in the region, including the drone attack on Sunday that killed 3 U.S. service members at the Tower 22 base inside Jordan near the Syrian border. And this goes to show that these are the devils that the Bible speaks of. All right? Not to be funny, but these are the devils that the Bible speaks of because, bro, you devils start shit, go overseas and start wilding out on people. And then they killed 3, they said? 3 of your U.S. service members who knows, they're probably a whole bunch of TGs at this point. You know? They killed 2 of them. Oh, Lord, we about to bomb your whole shit. Yo. Man, your judgment is coming. Speaking at the Pentagon Thursday, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, who I believe they tried taking him out, told reporters that the U.S. won't tolerate attacks on American troops. Well, but you over there though. Why are you there? You see how Esau works? These devils are so delusional. You travel overseas to start shit, get fucked up, and then complain why you getting fucked up. Why don't your ass come back home? Stay home. Nah, they ain't gonna do that. Because they need to send them troops overseas to make sure that there ain't nobody else to help defend America when they start coming over here. Okay? When the FBI director, Christopher Wray, is saying that he sees red lights everywhere and shit, what do you think he's talking about? We know what he's talking about because he's sending subliminal messaging telling us and the elites that it's time to go. There's so-called domestic teas everywhere is what he's saying. And if that's the case, then you know what that means, right? They have to set up checkpoints and technology to weed out these domestic teas. Counter tea measures. If he's saying that 90% of Americans have become domestic teas, that means they need to have counter domestic tea measures. Okay? That goes into mass surveillance. Okay, that goes into mass censorship. Okay, and ultimately mass arrests. All right? The whole border situation is all being set up for a reason. Hey man, things are setting up for America. Yo, after that so-called, I believe through the Spirit, we're gonna have the Passover, and then you have the eclipse that passes over America that makes an X. That's like legit the death angel, man. He's making that X. America's gonna be dark. It's gonna be an X. Okay, you got disease X in the background. There's a lot of things that's brewing that marks the death, the X. Remember, X means destruction, right? Of America. Amazing, amazing, amazing. It's major omen, man. And Lord willing, as soon as that shit pop off, after the eclipse, because these devils like to do a lot of rituals on shit like that. After the eclipse, I believe this place is going to just see a ton of violence. And things are just going to go crazy. Darkness everywhere. The death angels are here. It says, this is a dangerous moment in the Middle East, Austin said. noting that Israel's ongoing war against Hamas in the Gaza Strip and attacks by Houthi rebels in Yemen on commercial shipping in the Red Sea were also happening in the region. Quote, we will continue to work to avoid a wider conflict in the region, but we will take all necessary actions to defend the United States, our interests, and our people, and we will respond when we choose, where we choose, and how we choose. You see, that's the pride of America. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. You see. Meanwhile, the Lord is spelling X over America. You out here talking about you gonna respond when you choose, where you choose, and how you choose. Man, it's crazy. Is that I don't remember ever agreeing with Lloyd Austin about anything, but in this case, I definitely agree that, quote, this is a dangerous moment in the Middle East, end quote. One wrong move could result in thousands of missiles flying in all directions. That's right, and it will happen. Okay, millions. All right. Of course, the Houthis are already firing off missiles on a regular basis, and that's causing a lot of people to what? To get cooked. Right? That's a whole bunch of destruction that's already happening. So to top it all off, the best way to take it all out is demolish the whole thing and cleanse it and restart all over. Drop them nukes. Okay, it says that on Thursday, and that's the real reset. And on Thursday, the U.S. military hit them again. All right, and it goes on and on and on. It's a pretty lengthy article, but you see where they're going with it. Okay, you see where they're going with it, and it's been written. All right, I'm gonna get this real fast. Okay, a letter. All right, and it's all tying in. It's all tying in beautifully. All right, a letter from Albert Pike to Giuseppe Mazzini. Okay, on how they were going to foment the 3 world wars. Okay, again, it's prophesied to happen. And now the First and Second World Wars are history to us. We can go back and we can read all about it in terms of the secular aspect of it. But there's also a biblical aspect to it. Okay, in the book of Revelation. All right. So right here, which we read earlier, all right, the book of Revelation, the 11th chapter. Let's get that again. Okay, I believe the 14th verse. 14. There's a book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 14. It says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Okay, so that third woe is what you're seeing the prelims of out there in the so-called Middle East. Okay, and it was written to happen. All right, and let's read a little bit about it as to how it was going to come about. Okay, from the letter between Albert Pike and Giuseppe Mazzini. It says, a third world war must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agenter of the so-called Illuminati. Okay, now agenter simply means agents, okay, of the so-called Illuminati, which are the so-called elites of the society and of ultimately the world. Okay, Illuminati simply means enlightened ones. They call themselves secret societies for a reason. The truth to them, the not the truth, but the power, okay, comes from being enlightened. Their science to know, okay, and it's esoteric, meaning it's hidden, secret. Okay, that's where the power lies, secrecy. See, so they do a lot of wickedness in secrecy. A lot of things that's being exposed is taking away their power. You know. So they're agents of the so-called enlightened ones between the political Zionists and the leaders of Islamic world. And that's what you're seeing today. Then Yahoo, starting October 7th, okay, 2023, what happened? It says the war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, isn't that what's going on right now? Mutually destroy each other, right? The whole Gaza situation, been bombing them niggas for over 100 days straight, right? Going in straight, like just straight cooking, talking about we're just getting started. We have to destroy these people. Hey, bro, what you saying? You know? That's what Benjamin Netanyahu, that's what he was saying. All right, it says, meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, right, through propaganda, okay, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. That's going to be all through class warfare, race warfare, governments against each other. Okay, the scriptures tell you in Isaiah 19 that the Lord said he's going to set the Babylonian against the Babylonian. That's Americans against Americans, man. Okay, for whatever reason. It says, we shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm, which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and the most bloody turmoil. And who's in front of all of that? You don't look no further than the Hudat and the WEF. And now you can add the UN in there too. Okay? These are these agents and nihilists and atheists, okay, that are to provoke that formidable social cataclysm. You see what's going on around the world. Who is pushing for these things? Whenever they have these Davos summits and Davos meetings, I mean, now they put it on video for people to see, but they're discussing these things out in the open. And people are just not paying attention or whatever. Hey, it is what it is, man. Okay, it says, then everywhere the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries. Again, the whole concept of the WEF and what they're pushing for. Again, they're getting ready for a pushback. Okay, the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries. So they're at that point where, okay, we need to put the governments together, 194 nations under the Hudat. This is when you're going to see these things. People are going to revolt against these draconian measures, whatever is coming down the pike. And these devils, they can't wait to use their weapons on these people, man. They can't wait. Technology that they got stacked up, ready to go. Oh, they can't wait. Oh yeah, it's about to be a real bloody turmoil. Okay, the origins of savagery indeed. The scripture says that a sword is sharpened and is given into the hand of the slayer. Okay, the Heavenly Father is preparing and sharpening that sword. All right, Esau's technology is at an all-time high, man. They about to unleash that bloody turmoil is coming. It says, continue, it says, they will exterminate those destroyers of civilization and the multitude disillusioned with Christianity, whose deitistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal, because that's why you see a lot of these satanic so-called celebrities tying themselves to so-called Christianity, man. Out of nowhere, everybody's, oh, now we're reading the Bible. Like, come on, bro, stop. They see the men of the Lord and the truth coming out. Now Esau want to jump in and bring Satan to it. Oh, they got that light, they got that heat. Yo, let's go find a way to fuck with it. Vocab and all these other people, it's just like, it's not working. It's not working. All right. It says, but without knowing where to render its adoration. So Christianity, whose deitistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal. Anyway, anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, is what they say. Brought finally out in the public view, this manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. So who is behind this? Out in the open like this? Who is behind this type of shit? look no further than the Hudat and the Wef. Okay? But yeah, I just want to bring this out real quick. Again, things are speeding up. Things are heating up, man. Okay? And this whole thing that's going on in the Middle East is a sign, okay, of the MOTB being right at the door. Okay? Because it is all those things that combine to the destruction of America, Babylon the Great, as you read in Revelation, the 14th chapter. Okay? The Third World War, all that. Okay, so we're there, man. We're right at that door. Okay, the war has already commenced, man. America's already involved. Israel has truly fulfilled the prophecy of the least of the flock shall draw them out. And is also fulfilling the prophecy in Joel that we read, all right, that the Lord is gathering these nations into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay? And before I forget, going through this article here is all these headlines, the trending news, and it's all spelling disaster, all end time prophecies, man. Okay, it says a strong magnitude 5.1 earthquake strikes central Oklahoma, felt in Arkansas. Okay, that's Matthew 24 being fulfilled right there. End time prophecies, man. Yo, man, we're there. Okay, Matthew 24:7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Actually, verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Isn't that what's going on right now? February 4th, 2024. On the headlines, it's talking about wars, man. Okay, Iraq warns the Middle East is now on the brink of the abyss. Okay, the Middle East, like we just went into, has now reached a dangerous climax. How will Iran respond to recent strikes from the West? This is all war talk. Okay, that's all war talk, wars and rumors of wars. It says, see that ye be not troubled, because we're not troubled. Okay, because we understand the sequence of prophecy. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right? For nation shall rise against nation. That's what you're seeing now. There's a strong division everywhere. Okay? And kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines. All right? That's coming soon here to America. Okay? That's all going to lead to that civil war. All right? Look what happened to Venezuela. Not too long ago. All right? Venezuela was there was a point where Venezuela was, I believe, the third richest country in the Western Hemisphere. All right, I believe that was in the early 90s. I was doing some research on that. All right, and then over the years, all right, I believe all the way up to, I believe it was 2016, around there. All right, what started happening was food, which is a famine. All right, shortages start to take place. And when you have food shortages like that, that becomes widespread, what happens is it hits your health care as well. Okay? Because those two go together. When there ain't no food and you're hungry, you're easy to get sick and die. Okay? Because there's no energy to power up that immune system. Okay? So these things are all going to hit America very soon. All at once. Okay? For there shall be famines and pestilences, right? We talking about disease X, we're going into it. It's coming. And earthquakes in diverse places, right? Again, going into the articles, going into the news articles, all right? It says what? A strong magnitude 5.1 earthquake strikes central Oklahoma, felt in Arkansas. Okay? That's earthquakes right there in diverse places. At the beginning of the year, we had a 7.1 that hit, was it Japan? Damn, what country was it? It might have been Japan. You know, I was like, damn, the Lord is, coming out with a banger on this one, right? He said 37 million Californians are in the crosshairs of a historic rainstorm. Like, bro, Biden warns U.S. airstrikes are only the beginning. Beginning of what? Beginning of sorrows. Okay, beginning of all hell breaking loose soon. Okay? Matthew 24:8, let's finish it off with this. It says, and all these things are the beginning of sorrows. All right. So, hey, man, we are living in those last days. Okay. And for those who are not paying attention, that's why it's going to come upon you suddenly and as a thief in the night. As a thief in the night. Okay. But for those who are watching, hey, Lord willing, we get delivered, man. All right. The Most High have mercy on all of us. All right. So I'm going to leave it off there. Lord willing, you are edified and informed. In closing, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash, the water Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai. And until next time, Shalom.